Let me tell you about Matt, 34, an IT project manager, married for 7 years. For 18 months, he kept having the same moment in bed, where his body would tense up, his mind would race, and his confidence would drop through the floor. His wife didn't say, "Be more romantic." She said, "I want it rougher." He tried porn scripts to learn, tried going slower like every blog suggested, even tried a blue pill once just to feel in control again. Nothing fixed the real problem, because every time he heard the word sex, his brain translated it as one sentence: "If I do this wrong, I'll lose her." But then, he admitted something that changed everything. He wasn't afraid of rough, he was afraid of not knowing what she actually meant and accidentally crossing a line. And that fear was killing his performance. I'm Dr. Mary Edwards, and for years I've worked with men dealing with performance anxiety, erection inconsistency, and mismatched intimacy styles, especially when a partner asks for a different kind of sex than they expected. And what I'm about to explain may contradict what you've heard. This isn't women being complicated. It isn't you not being masculine enough. And it's definitely not solved by copying what you've seen online. By the end of this video, you'll know why some women prefer intensity over gentle romance, psychologically and biologically, what rough often really means, and what it does not mean, the 4-part communication system that keeps things exciting and safe, and most importantly, how to stay confident and in control during sex without guessing. And at the 10-minute mark, I'll give you a 60-second compatibility test you can use tonight to find out whether her request is about sensation, emotion, power, or stress relief. Now, let's go back to Omar. Before this started, Omar described their relationship as solid: good teamwork, good laughs, normal stress, normal life. Then his work pressure spiked. New role, constant deadlines. He started sleeping lighter, waking up at 3 a.m. with that dry mouth anxiety. And in bed, something changed. Not her attraction, his nervous system. He told me, "Doc, she's not cold. She's hungry, like she wants me to take control." And I freeze. He went to a doctor first. The standard advice: reduce stress, get better sleep, try medication, stop overthinking. But in real life, that didn't touch the moment that mattered. Because the moment his wife asked for rougher sex, his brain filled in the blanks with worst-case scenarios. She's bored of me. I'm not enough. If I don't perform, she'll fantasize about someone who can. So he tried to perform a role. One night, he copied a tone of voice from a video. Another night, he tried to be dominant out of nowhere. His wife looked confused. He felt embarrassed. His body shut down. Then the emotional cost hit. He started avoiding initiation. He would wait until she initiated, because if it failed, he could say, "I'm tired." And he told me a sentence I hear too often: "I feel like I'm broken." Pause. So I asked him one question that changed the entire direction. When she says rough, does she mean pain or does she mean intensity? He blinked, because no one had ever separated those two, and that's where most men get trapped. Then I asked another, does she want more pressure on her body or more pressure on the moment? That's when Omar said, "Honestly, I don't know." And that "I don't know" is the real reason your confidence collapses during sex. Not weakness, uncertainty. Now here's what was really going on inside his body. Here's what most people miss about performance anxiety during sex. Your erection system isn't powered by willpower, it's powered by safety. If your brain senses danger, emotional danger, relational danger, or "I might mess this up" danger, your body releases stress chemistry that blocks arousal. Think of it like trying to enjoy a meal while you believe the building is on fire. Even if the food is perfect, your body won't digest. Now zoom out. A lot of women do enjoy rough elements in consensual sex, but the word rough is messy. It can mean different things for different people. Research on rough sex and related behaviors shows it's not rare, especially among younger adults. For example, a national German sample found lifetime rough sex involvement around 29%, with higher rates among adults under 40. And other research reviews note that many adults report fantasies involving dominance, submission themes, even if fewer practice them regularly. But here's the part most men miss. When a woman asks for rough, she may be asking for one of 4 psychological ingredients. 1. Intensity. More energy, more decisiveness, less polite hesitation. 2. Polarity. A clearer contrast. One partner leads, the other receives. Not disrespect, not cruelty, direction. 3. Sensation. Different kinds of physical input, often described as stronger, firmer, more pressure. 4. Stress release. Some people experience intense sex as a nervous system reset, like going from mental noise to full body focus. Now here's where it gets interesting. Many men hear rough and assume the goal is pain or danger, but in clinics and surveys, we also see the shadow side, consent violations and injury risk, when people copy extremes they don't fully understand. That's why your job is not to be rough. Your job is to be clear, because uncertainty triggers anxiety, and anxiety kills arousal. This is exactly what was happening with Omar. He wasn't failing at sex, he was failing at translation. So let's fix that, step by step. Step 1, the meaning reset, 10 minutes once. Most men skip this and go straight to action. Bad move, because rough without definition equals guessing, and guessing equals anxiety, and anxiety ruins sex. What to do? Exact. In a calm, non-bedroom moment, say, when you say you want it rougher, what does that mean for you? More intensity, more leading, more pressure, or something else? Then give her 4 choices. Intensity, faster, more decisive energy. Polarity, clear leading, following roles. Sensation, firmer touch, pressure. Emotion, feeling claimed, wanted, pursued. Why it works. Your brain stops catastrophizing when you replace mystery with language. What you should notice, even this conversation alone often reduces pressure during sex because now you're not performing in the dark. Common mistake, asking it defensively, am I not enough? Don't make it about your insecurity, make it about her clarity. Omar did this once, and his wife said, I don't want pain. I want you to stop asking permission with your eyes every 2 seconds. That single sentence gave him a roadmap. Step 2, the consent container, 2 minutes, every time. This is where confident men separate themselves from reckless men. What to do? Exact. Before sex, ask 2 quick questions. What's a yes tonight? 1 thing she wants. What's a no tonight? 1 thing off limits. Then add a simple stop system. If you say yellow, we slow down. If you say red, we stop. No questions, no attitude. Why it works. The nervous system relaxes when it knows there's an exit door. What you should feel. You'll feel more in control, not less, because boundaries create confidence. Common mistake. Thinking consent talk kills the mood. No, awkwardness kills the mood. Confidence builds it. Step 3, the lead without acting method. 3 minutes in the moment. A lot of guys try to act dominant. It comes off fake, then they panic. Here's the better approach. What to do? Exact. Use 3 leading behaviors, not a persona. Decide the pace, slow or fast, your choice. Decide the sequence. What happens next? No long pauses. Decide the words, short, confident phrases. Examples of clean, non-cringe language. Come here. Look at me. I've got you. Tell me yes. That's it. Breathe. Why it works. Polarity is often created through direction and certainty, not aggression. What to notice if she relaxes, melts, gets quieter, or becomes more responsive. Your direction is landing. Common mistake, jumping intensity from 0 to 100. Intensity should rise like a dimmer switch, not like a light switch. This is the part that changed everything for Omar. Because he realized rough didn't mean mean, it meant sure. Step 4. The performance anxiety off switch. 60 seconds. When men struggle during sex, they try harder, but arousal doesn't respond to effort. It responds to presence. What to do? Exact. Right before things escalate, do this. Inhale through your nose, 4 seconds. Exhale 6 seconds. Repeat 5 times. Then focus your eyes on one detail, her collarbone, her lips, her breath rhythm. Why it works? Longer exhale signals safety to your nervous system and reduces stress response. What you'll notice? More blood flow, less mental noise, more control. Common mistake? Doing it secretly like you're fixing yourself. Do it confidently, like you're grounding into the moment. Step 5. The after action, 2-minute debrief. Once after. If you want great sex consistently, you must learn what works. What to do, exact. Afterward, ask, what was your favorite 10 seconds? What would you want 10% more of next time? What should we skip next time? Why it works. This turns intimacy into an evolving skill, not a test. Common mistake, fishing for reassurance. Was I good? Don't ask for a grade, ask for data. Section 6, the results, plus variations. So what happened with Matt? Within 7 days of step 1 and step 2, he stopped freezing because he wasn't guessing anymore. His erections became more consistent because anxiety dropped. Initiation returned because he wasn't afraid of failing. By week 3, he reported more control, less overthinking, and more shared excitement during sex. His wife said something simple but powerful. I feel wanted again. But will it work the same for you? It depends. If your partner's rough is mainly intensity, focus on step 3, leading behaviors. If it's mainly sensation, your focus is step 1, clarity plus slow build. If it's mainly stress release, step 4 becomes essential. Matt had a setback in week 3. He got overconfident, skipped the yes-no tonight check-in, and his wife suddenly felt tense. He thought she was rejecting him, and his body shut down. He fixed it in 48 hours by returning to the consent container, because safety isn't a one-time event. And look, if you try this for 4 weeks and you're still stuck with anxiety, numbness, or erection loss, that's your sign to address deeper factors: sleep, medication side effects, porn conditioning, relationship resentment, or medical causes. That's not failure, that's information. Let me break down the key takeaways. Old approach. Guess what she means by rough copy extremes from the internet? Try harder when your body shuts down. Treat sex like a performance test. New approach. Translate rough into one of 4 meanings. Build a consent container every time. Lead with certainty, not aggression. Regulate your nervous system so arousal can happen. Remember this phrase: clarity creates confidence. Now, some of you are thinking, what if I bring this up and she judges me? Here's the truth. A mature woman doesn't want a mind reader. She wants a man who can say, I want to give you what you want, safely, and I'm not guessing. The men who get better fast, they start this conversation this week. The men who stay anxious, they wait until another awkward night forces it. Which one will you be? If you want the full protocol written out step by step, I made a free guide called The Clarity and Consent Blueprint. Link is in the description, so you can stop guessing, stop overthinking, and start feeling confident during sex again. I also linked a related video you should watch next: Performance Anxiety, the 3 Triggers That Kill Arousal. Watch that next if you freeze in your head even when you're attracted. If this video opened your eyes to what you've been missing, hit subscribe because I release practical, clinical strategies that make intimacy easier, safer, and far more satisfying. And comment below with this exact question: when she says rough, which of the four meanings do you think she means? Intensity, polarity, sensation, or stress release? I read the comments, and your answers helped me create the next video. I'm Dr. Mary Edwards, and I'll see you in the next one.